Today, I'm going to be sharing with you how I help my client lose 3.5 pounds, drop an inch off of her waist, eating 300 calories more a day. Despite working out consistently for years, hiring trainers, doing cardio, she was not seeing results. Her metabolism felt stalled. She was under 800 calories a day with no energy. She couldn't sleep, let alone stay asleep. Motivation to train was completely down. And she just felt stuck in this cycle of low calories, trying to add in cardio, chronic fatigue, and thinking that she was never going to get results. Today, she's going to be joining me, and we're going to be going through step by step everything we did with her diet, training, macros, supplements. We're going to be deep diving into pre and post workout nutrition, intermittent fasting, the effects of low calorie diets, hormones for all my women 30 plus looking to balance their hormones to lose fat. Make sure to stay tuned to the end because there is so much information here on fat loss for all of my women 30 plus. If you don't know me, I'm Elizabeth with Elizabeth Ayler Fitness. I have my 4-year degree in kinesiology, CSCS. I'm a holistic nutrition consultant, GAPS practitioner, and FDN practitioner. And I've helped over 1,000 women build muscle, lose 5 to 40 pounds in just 90 days with my whole body transformation, and get sustainable results with zero extremes. Thank you so much for joining me today. And I would love if you would start off sharing a little bit more about what your nutrition and training looked like before coming to our program and how low were your calories as well as how much cardio were you doing?
My calories, I think, were probably way under 1,000. I really never kept track of them, to be honest. I'd always been working out ever since college, being real active. My weight training really didn't come into play until the last 8 years or so, but still, I was very not real knowledgeable about the whole idea of training and proper nutrition, macros, taking anything pre workout, post workout, nothing like that. So I was really naive to all of it. I knew that I just wanted to be fit and have muscle definition. And so I was doing a lot of techniques on my own. I didn't really know about form. I started doing this program with a woman that I found online for 2 years. And I think she had me on about 1,200 calories with, preset macros and stuff. But I didn't really understand the whole concept of food and how important it is to fuel your body with the right nutrition. I always ate well. I wasn't eating the right amount of macros at all.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I went through a series of some pretty devastating personal situations that put me into a tailspin, and I went through severe depression. And so the little bit that I was eating prior to even working out became even less. And I lost about 10 pounds and I stopped working out completely. I had absolutely no motivation, no desire to work out, no desire to do anything. It was hard for me to get out of bed. And through the grace of God and His mother, I finally was able to heal. Antidepressants didn't work. So then I started my journey on getting better psychologically. So my weight started, the 10 pounds that I lost, I gained that back and a little bit then some. And I really wasn't one to step on a scale. It was more by fit of my clothing. And I didn't like how my clothes were fitting. And I thought, well, if I can lose 10 pounds basically eating nothing, I can do it again. But little did I know that I was doing more harm than good. So my weight just flatlined. Like I couldn't, nothing. I tried, like I said, I ate very little. And I thought, well, maybe it's a bowel issue, like me, because I wasn't regular either. But then when I started feeling better emotionally, I saw you on Instagram and I followed you for months. And I realized that I need to get back into working out. I miss it, but I'm missing all of the knowledge that goes into into the whole concept of work. It's not just building muscle. I mean, you have to have the right amount of macros and eating the right types of food to help encompass all of it.
It's a full body. As women, as we get older and we hit midlife, we see all these approaches on keto and carnivore and more extremes and cutting your calories more. And you came to me and you've First off, thank you so much for sharing your story with everyone, because this is so powerful right now, because we've had such an amazing healing story that I'm going to be sharing everything we did with your diet and stuff to get you losing weight, eating more food, and healing your relationship with food. But coming back to it is you were doing everything that you thought. You were doing an hour plus cardio a day. You were under 1,000 calories, sometimes not even 900. You're like, Elizabeth, I'm not hungry, but I'm fatigued. I'm doing all the things. I'm not seeing results with my body. My legs aren't growing. I remember that was a big thing for you. Like, Elizabeth, I
Yep.
want my glutes and everything to lift. I've been with a trainer. I've
Yep.
done this. Am I broken? And I feel like a lot of women think they are. But what
Yep.
happens is all of these extremes, they're throwing off our hormones. We have the stress going on, our DHEA, our cortisol, our testosterone, all of these get out of whack. And
Mhm.
then pushing harder just leads us to feel more run down. So we're going to go through everything we did with you to get you transforming your body, because as women 30 plus, it's not as simple as just
Right.
do one of these extremes again. It doesn't get you there. And I think that's such an important, and having a healthy relationship with your food, that's to me is the biggest thing. And you said you worked with a lot of trainers, you followed strict routines, but you weren't seeing the results. What have you tried specifically, if you just want to kind of list out the different diets and the different trainings and the results that you got from them?
Well, the results were very minimal. I thought, am I just not eating enough protein? What is the issue? Am I not lifting heavy enough? I joined some other communities asking these questions. And of course, without them really knowing my story, it's really hard to kind of zero in on those things. Again, I think food was always the bottom of my priority. I just didn't prioritize food. I really didn't care about food, to be honest. I ate a lot of salads and stuff. I ate some proteins, but it wasn't enough to provide the results that really are essential for me personally. I wanted to see with your guidance. You're the only one that I felt complete confidence in, because you have so much education. You have actually a degree in kinesiology, which, I think so many people, myself, you get caught up, and there's so many different women out there as coaches. They've lost weight. You see them and you're like, oh, I want to look like that. And then you start following them. But really, I think they feel like they're an expert because they've lost a lot of weight and they look great. But there's so much more to it than just how somebody looks. You are the only one, like I said, that has the knowledge. You have the degrees. You have so many certificates. I started looking you up online then to get into your program, and you said one of your messages was, DM me and I'll call you and we'll set up a Zoom call. And I was so impressed by that, because I've never had that experience with the previous person that I was with. There was never really that one-on-one. I was able to email her, but that was about the extent of it. So with you, I almost feel like you are you're as close to being my personal coach here in my home as you can possibly get, where I have this feedback with you, and you are on this journey with me, and you're providing all of the tools for me, with food and workout routines. Like, I told you exactly what I'm looking for, and so you have been providing specific workout routines for me as well as my macros. So I owe so much to you. My whole outlook completely changed, because I know it's actually helped me grow my legs, where I'm finally starting to see some definition now. And it's like, food is helping me do that. So food is no longer an enemy to me at all.
That is so huge. That was our biggest. I know we had some challenges, and that was, I think, our biggest challenge was getting you to eat enough food, overcome that fear of food, which sometimes can take women years. And my
Mhm.
biggest question for you about that, before again we go into the diet, is How do you feel like the fear of food and the fear of eating more and carbs, how do you feel like it held you back? And what impact did it have on your metabolism and energy when we started not only shifting your nutrition, but also started bringing the right training and everything to encompass that?
Yeah, I mean, eating properly, like the right carbs, has been huge in terms of my energy level. It's so surprising that, and I used to sleep a lot too. Like I just had this mindset where I needed to be in bed at 8 and I'd be up at 6. Like, like you had pointed out like a while ago, like that's like babies, sleep that much. And I'm like, there's something wrong. I wasn't sleeping well either, and you started talking about magnesium and, the magnesium balm from Dr. Doug's, which I use, the supplements, and taking the magnesium has been a game changer for me. Like I can finally go to sleep and get my at least my 8 hours. My brain shuts off, and it's been huge. And, getting back to eating the right kind of carbs too, like vegetables that you had mentioned about being more satiated and full and you don't have these cravings. So it's so scientific, with food and your body. And you provided so much of that education to me. It's just, like I said, it's just been a huge game changer for me. I look at food in such a different way now, as more of a friend than an enemy.
That's such a huge win because when it comes down to it, it's like the food nutrition sounds like such a scary word. And my whole goal is by, the end of the time is you guys know and understand you can be anywhere, not tracking, and you know what confidence wise, what to
Mhm.
put on that plate to still get results. And to me, that's a big aspect. You have to be able to understand and have the education on how these foods support your body when we do have, let me say it this way. So when I had all of my eating disorder and everything around fear of food, not understanding the how and the why and how the carbs and the protein, everything worked in my body really
Yep.
made me kind of have almost more anxiety over it. So I really love explaining to you guys and teaching you, the role of, carbs, fat, and proteins, why we don't need to just cut out just carbs or cut here because as women, especially women 30 plus, we need all macronutrients for building muscle. It's not we cut all the carbs out. You take your carbs down too low, your anxiety is going to go off. Your cortisol levels are going to go up. That's going to throw off our DHEA. It's not about what you eat too. It's about how you absorb our gut health, our hormones. All of those are big factors. So
Mhm.
it's like with you were focused on the calories and the cardio, which a lot of us are. And I was like, Anne, we need to focus on your sleep, your stress,
Yeah.
overcoming the fear around food so that you have trust in my program, which is why we did the discovery call. Cause I'm like, this is what our game plan is going to be. Do you and me feel like we are that right fit to go forward because you have to believe in it to get results.
Right.
And then bridge everything together so that we were able to start getting the metabolism firing, your hunger and satiety cues coming, your energy coming up, and pulling it all together by looking at these hidden stressors, not just calories, the whole shebang and pulling it together. And
Right.
I would really love to switch in and start talking about what we did with your diet, the unique approach, the training, and all the things that women, a lot of them do that could actually take them further to getting their results. But as we started transitioning, you came to me, like I said, 800, 900 calories a day, doing tons of cardio. We really started slowly. I switched around your macros, I customized them to your metabolism, and then we slowly started increasing them and balancing out. How did it feel to eat more food? And what did you originally notice? Were you crazy full? Did you have energy? Let's talk about this shift in reverse dieting and intermittent fasting.
Well, intermittent fasting, I had a totally different preconception of what that was. I was thinking it was like fasting during the day, but in actuality, it was like, why didn't I think about, I'm fasting at night. So if I stop eating at 8, fasting for, 12 hours, then I can continue again the next morning after 8 or after. That was huge because I'm like, well, I already fast, like I was thinking I was, like fasting day, which meant like I was hardly eating anything either, which I remember, asking you, like, if I'm fasting for 12 hours, how in the heck am I supposed to be eating? Like I just, my knowledge was just like I hardly had any. I was just,
But it's okay. I love that you said that because it just shows you came to me and you weren't over here this advanced athlete doing all the macro tracking. Like
yeah,
you had knowledge, you've been trying things, but you didn't know how to pull it together to you. But look what you were able to accomplish with that. That's huge. Keep going.
yeah. So, yeah, I mean, when you started putting me on, we slowly built up to the 1200. It did provide me a lot more energy, obviously. And it was difficult, because I so used to not eating a lot, and I'm getting there. I'm not quite where I'm consistent at the 12, but at least I know with the app that you provide, it's fun actually kind of watching the macros climb to where they need to be, so
Can you
I'll
believe you're saying that?
yeah, I mean,
Day
I'll
one, they're going up. My macros are going up.
and then if I see it going over, like I won't even, I'll back off. I'll usually obviously put in my stuff before I eat or start preparing so that I know that I'm within. And if I see it going over, then of course I'll back down the amount that I'd be consuming. But the app has been super helpful.
So coming back to the intermittent fasting, I want to hit there
Mm.
because a lot of women think we need to fast more, go to these 1, 2 meals a day. You were saying you came to me and you were doing that. You were eating maybe 1 meal a day. We got to a place where you were having chronic cravings. We had low energy. We needed to nap all of the time. We had no strength to train. And we
Right.
were still, Elizabeth, how can I do more cardio? How can I cut this? And this is where a majority of us are.
Yeah.
So, what we did specifically, and I want to explain the fasting before I say what we did with your nutrition for us. So, our cortisol levels are highest in the morning because we're fasting overnight. We need that rush to kind of give us that boost of energy. It goes down throughout the day. We have the lunch to stabilize it. And then it's lowest at night. And our cortisol is extremely the lowest around 3 to 4 hours after we fall asleep. We get into that deep sleep for recovery. Now, what happens is if we're fasting, we're throwing coffee, extra stimulating our cortisol, which a lot of us have already a dysregulated cortisol to DHEA pathway, which is our anabolic in building. Okay. Meaning that if we're so stressed out and our body's in a breakdown, we don't have enough of that balance. Like we could have hormone imbalances going on. If you do testing, you can figure out what the hormone imbalances are. So it spikes, it goes down throughout the day. Now, when we're fasting in the morning and we have that spike and then we throw coffee in, that could spike the adrenals and the cortisol even more. So then if we don't have, and a lot of us have dysregulated hormones, we could have a deep, steep drop to where you're feeling that 1 to 3 p.m. chronic fatigue where you feel like you need coffee again. You're trying to stimulate again. And then we're not sleeping good. We're not having the best recovery. So all of the intermittent fasting and overdoing it and eating 1 meal a day and throwing the coffee and trying to get us throughout the day, all it is throwing our body off more, causing our cortisol levels to be off more. We always want to make sure we're supporting our body first thing in the morning. Don't even stress about the intermittent fasting in. I want you within 30 minutes in that morning getting in at least 30 grams of protein, some good carbohydrates. We got some berries. We created some recipes for you and we made it easy. I'm like, let's start the day off strong and then keep it simple, not 10 meals a day because you got a busy life. And we had you just at simple intervals, small, easy meals that were more balancing. So since we are hitting that midlife with you, we're 58, it's not about cutting carbohydrates out, but we got to look at are our cells insulin sensitive? So I taught you what to eat, when to eat, the foods to eat to really balance out your blood sugars at those meals. And then another key element of what we did with you is when we're on very, very low calories, think about it as that little lap band. People go in for the surgery, they get the lap band around their stomach and it makes their stomach smaller. So when they eat too much food, which would be a normal portion of food, their stomach's not used to that volume and they feel sick. When you eat very little food, and when I was down to 500 calories at my lowest.
Mm.
My stomach, I couldn't handle it. Anytime I tried to increase my food, I was full. And you were like, Elizabeth, I'm not hungry. I can't increase it. So we slowly worked on this together with the strength, putting specific macros around our pre and post workout so that we had more of those hunger cues around it. And we were able to overcome the 900 to where you actually are telling me now we got most days, we're still working on it, but we're getting those hunger and satiety cues back. But the key is we're getting the calories up, the energy's up, the body's starting to transform. We're seeing our muscle building because we're giving our body what it needs to
Right.
have balance the hormones to see it without extremes. Do you have anything you want to add to that about the fasting or about increasing the calories or anything that you feel would help any woman out there going through something in the same place with the nutrition?
It's interesting because eating the right macros and the right food is actually allowed, and obviously the workouts have allowed me to actually lose weight. And I have not been doing any cardio. Like I would do cardio all the time. I'd do HIIT, or, I'd go out for a really brisk walk.
How many days a week and how long were you doing that cardio before?
Oh, oh my gosh. Well, with the other program that I was on, I HIIT was once a week. My walking was on my own, and that was years and years even before I even started any sort of program. I always enjoyed walking.
But when you came to me, how much cardio were you doing? You weren't just doing it once a week.
When I came to you, I wasn't doing any. I through that whole year and a half during my depression, when I wasn't working out any longer or doing anything, still zero. But now that I am eating the right amount of macros, it's been huge. Like I just can't believe it. And I know that, when you lifting burns, it does burn fat. And even 30 minutes to an hour, even afterwards, it's, your body is still burning that fat. So it's so important now that I've had you help me educate me on the importance of food and, how it certainly fuels the body and how you can gain results from right nutrition. It's just been huge. And so I feel guilty now for not eating, like I feel like now damaging by not eating my meals and getting my macros. But again, it's always been about the right nutrition, which never been much in eating vegetables. And now it's like sweet potatoes my favorite. So
Love it. I love that. I want to hit one more thing with the food before we go into, because we trained you all at home. So I want to talk about how we got you to make the changes from at home with just bands and dumbbells. But
yeah.
when it comes down to the food, you mentioned you tried a lot of things. How do you feel that my program helps address the unique challenges of the fear of food, the slow metabolism, and even the post-menopause struggles? Because I know a lot of women are like, but I'm trying all the things, what is just that missing element? What was that with my program for you?
I mean, your knowledge, I mean, those weekly Zoom calls, the monthly
Education.
calls, oh my gosh. If you don't have the education, you really have you don't. I mean, the education is a huge baseline, is a jumping off point into all of the other things that make sense and provide results in a program. And you are the only one, like I said, I've been with, another coach, but there's never been this one-on-one like this, or, even with our group, our weekly groups that you would do, you always us on many different topics. And that has just been, like I said, huge. I've read things in books, but when you have somebody that you can actually sit in front of and hear and ask questions and learn from other people in the group, it's just been, I can't say enough good things about you and your program. It's just, I'm so glad that I did this. It's just been so worth it to me.
I love you, babe. I'm so proud of you. You just inspire me from our day one to where we are now with your whole mindset and everything. It has been just incredible to be on this journey with you. And I want to share with them because you came to me. We're going to go into your training. You know me, I like to hit everything because the whole reason I put up these videos is to share your amazing story and how you overcome so much, but also give people to some tools about, okay, intermittent fasting and, nutrition and how to do things. And a lot of individuals think that they can't transform their body at home, but I'm here to say we can, as long as we have the right program, the right tools, so that we
Right.
have the progressive overload. So
Right.
tell them a little bit about what equipment did we have at home, and, how was I able to adapt the whole program to you, coming from not having a lot of education on the exercise and being kind of new to this strength training and doing it on your own and in our state?
A lot of people say, oh, you can't get results working it out at home. But, because gyms have so many other pieces of equipment, but you'd be surprised. There's a lot of women, that get results. And I've got many results working out at home. I've got dumbbells that range from 5 pounds up until 30 pounds. I have a leg extension machine. So I do have some equipment. I do have a leg extension machine. I have bands, small bands, large bands. I have a Bozo ball. I've got the stability ball. There are affordable of equipment that people can get. I enjoy working out at home because I can do it whenever I need to. I don't need the motivation to get into a car and drive somewhere, to a gym. I don't want to have to wait for equipment. I don't want to have people watching me. For me, it's more been a privacy thing, but it can
Yeah.
be well, so like I said, I don't need motivation to go down in my basement and work out. I enjoy working out, and the more results that I see, the more desire I have to into
Yeah.
working. I want to see more results.
You were doing a trainer and we were having, I know, like a big struggle. You're like, Elizabeth, I want my glutes, I want my legs, I want everything to tighten up. We didn't have a lot of that motivation in the beginning too, because we weren't feeling our best.
Right.
So getting the calories in and switching over, how do you feel like we were able to build this program to really have those adjustments to where you started seeing changes in your physique without having to go to the gym when you were doing and trying different programs prior?
You geared it to me based on my needs. I said I didn't want bodybuilder legs. I want defined legs. I want to lift my butt. I don't want to grow it. And so, knowing your knowledge, with your degree and your experience, I knew that you would be able to put together a fitness program that was designed just for me. And what I like about the app too is that if I feel like I need, more of a challenge, there's a place on the app where I can substitute a certain exercise and make it more of a challenge. But, too, the challenge comes from within your mind too, like, and your strength. So I'm feeling like I can do more than lift 15 pounds to make it more of a challenge. And, I have been feeling a lot stronger. Like, I was so weak when I started because it's a year and a half. I've lost everything. I was as weak as we could be. And there are many times I wanted to cry. Like, I couldn't believe how weak I had become. But I'm like, you know what? If I did it once, I can do it again. And I have done it again. Like, in 3 months, I'm amazed that doing a split squat, lifting 15 pounds, that I can now do 25, in a short amount of time, which I hadn't before. But I also learned about creatine, which I hadn't learned about before in my other programs. So again, the education has just been mind blowing.
I'm staring at your shoulders right now. I'm like, look at
Oh,
your arms, babe. They're built. Look at 58. Like, what is going on? And I think that's like a big thing. You can transform your body at any age, but if we don't look at our relationship with our food, if we don't look at the fact that we've had so much going on through life, if we're chronically stressed, we're not sleeping good, we have thyroid issues. I think they said the average American by 30 is on 9 medications. Don't quote me on that, but I heard it like a few different times. There's a few statistics out there, and it's because we are in this place where we're all chronically stressed. We're go, go, go. We got the demand of life. And then over time, that adds up with diet, not sleeping good, and our
mm,
hormones get thrown off. And then we're trying to build muscle, we're trying to get results, but you're not going to see the results if you got a lot of leaky gut going on from the stress, if your hormones are thrown off and you don't even have enough DHEA to impact all the cortisol that you're producing from not sleeping, over exercising, not getting enough food. So it's like, how do we expect to get results? And I think that's like the biggest thing. If you want to get results, stop looking at the calories in versus the calories out and look at, hey, what is going on with my body? Find someone to get you that more holistic, full spectrum approach. If you need help, hit me up. But I'm not here to push me. I want to just really say that you need to look at it as a holistic perspective, because when we do, it's crazy what can happen. To get to a healthy body weight, you have to get to a healthy body. And if all these things are happening, you're not going to get there. Is that like a big education thing that you learned too, Anne?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. The cortisol, like you mentioned, like I was telling my sister probably a year ago about having difficulty sleeping, and it wasn't so much because of the depression. It was just, I just couldn't. And she's like, your cortisol levels must be really high. And so I was taking a supplement, for it, and I just feel like I was trying to help myself, but I feel like it was kind of a band-aid, if you will, when you really dig down into, okay, why are my cortisol levels so high? It was because of all the things that you've mentioned, not eating properly, obviously not sleeping well, because of all these factors.
Stressors.
Yeah, exactly. And so now, given that, I have a son with a mental illness, which would cause anybody a lot of high stress, my stress levels really have been almost non existent just because I'm eating the right kind of food, taking magnesium, which for me being post-menopause, I wasn't even taking any sort of supplements. And I'm like, that's got to change. And so, I finally found a company that has been helping with all of that. And so I just feel like everything is just kind of balancing out properly now too. So it's been really helpful.
Well, first off, you are an inspiration to your whole family. And I love that you said that, though, is like, we don't feel good and we just cortisol and bloating. We find the supplement out there and we're trying to do good to kind of get it, but we don't really know what the root cause is and getting the right thing for us. So it's like, even with you, it's not just about grab any magnesium on the supplement. If someone has nerve issues, maybe it's a magnesium malate. If someone has stress, maybe it's over here, we need a glycinate or a threonate. So it's really the individual. And I think that's so important, is because we're all just kind of grabbing a supplement here and there. And I even told you day one, it's not even about the supplements. Let's fix all of these things first. And then we can add these things in as a tool. And we got tools to manage the stress, tools to get things so you have more time with your family, to bring the anxiety down, to get the cortisol levels down, versus just saying, hey, add these things in. Yes, there is a time and place when we have a lot of gut issues and a lot of dysfunction, hormone imbalances. We may need supplements to get us where we need, the right ones, hitting the root cause. But we have to really look at the whole body as a whole. It's not about using a Band-Aid as a supplement. It's about really looking at all those key areas, because I'm going to throw it out there. It's like weight loss medications. I have 2 videos on my YouTube on Ozempic. You can take it, but a lot of the individuals that take it, they don't have the tools. They don't know how to eat. They don't know anything about the nutrition and the movement side. And then they're doing it in an age where, we're women, we're midlife, losing muscle at a faster rate with the hormone imbalances. And then we're slowing our metabolism down even more. And then we don't know the tools to get out of that. And I think that's, to me, is like the biggest thing, is I want you guys to have the tools.
Oh yeah, you provide the tools, all right.
Mhm. Well, I would love to finish off with, I got 2 more questions for you. One, is there any other, I guess, big wins or big things that happened during your transformation that maybe I don't even know about, that weren't even weight loss related, that you want to mention?
Uh, I would just say that I've gotten a lot stronger. It's because I've been feeling my body with the right kind of carbs. Like I said, I wasn't much of a vegetable person and now I am. And the right kind of carbs helps to fuel your body. And so I do that before a workout. And so the strength, I've gotten so much stronger mentally and physically, really. It's just been an overall package that has just been huge for me, that I will never forget. And I hear my friends, they're trying to lose weight and they go walking, but then I watch what they eat and I'm like, well, this is why they're not losing the weight. And I wish, if the opportunity presents itself, I'd like to educate them too now. And what I've learned that you've taught me, I can help teach others. So I just can't say enough great things about your program and you. And it's been so inspiring to me that I'll just never forget it. And I'm just so thrilled that I can continue this journey with you.
I love you so much. You just sent chills through my legs over here, babe. I'm so proud of you. I'm so honored that you put your trust in me. We have come so far in 12 weeks, and I'm just so grateful to have you continue part of the family. And I love you, and thank you for sharing your story here today. Our whole goal is to help one person every single day. So if there's an individual and you feel like they are struggling with mindset, they're ready to transform their body, they don't know where to start, and you feel like this video would help them, send it over to them, because like I said, that is our whole goal. And I just know so many women are struggling with this fear around food, not knowing what to do, and feeling like we hit 40, we hit 50, we hit 60, and we're broken because the doctor says it. And that is not true, right, Anne?
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. You are what you eat. That is so true.
Yeah. I even take that to the next level, because not just what we eat, what we absorb. Because if we're chronically stressed and we got the dysbiosis and the leaky gut, and we get older and we have lower stomach acid, then maybe we're not denaturing our protein, being able absorbing all the amino acids. That's neurotransmitter function. That's building muscle. We need cholesterol for hormone production. It's so fascinating. I love the body. There's so much more to look at it than just calories.
Right. Absolutely. It's such a science, and you got it down pat.
Always learning, always growing. That's the key.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for hopping on and sharing your story with us today.
You for allowing me to do so, and just to express my gratitude towards you. And I hope that others will, get into this program too, that they will not regret it. I can promise them that.
I love you, babe. Thank you for doing this for me. Your story, you don't even know how many people it's going to hit, and just, you're an incredible mom, and I'm just truly so proud of you.
Thank you. I appreciate
This
that.
transformation is proof that real change is possible. Whether you've been struggling with weight loss, battling low energy and cravings, or feeling stuck in frustration, it's never too late to turn things around. And you can do this too. If you're tired of starting over, frustrated with slow progress, or just ready to feel in control and confident with your health and in your body, our 90-day whole body transformation is here to guide you step by step. This isn't about quick fixes or extreme plans. It's about learning how to fuel your body so cravings don't control you. Building strength and muscle with workouts that you actually enjoy, and addressing the root causes like gut and hormone imbalances so that you can finally see real permanent progress. Click the link in the description so you can learn how you can lose fat and keep it off for good, feel energized and confident in your body, and finally achieve results that last.